Hey everyone, it's Joe and
Michael
from Bullion Now, bullionnow.com.au, selling you the best bullion bars and coins shipped to you worldwide from Melbourne in Australia. We're live in lockdown 6.
We are coming from the lockdown capital of, I reckon, the world,
Of
but
the
at least
entire
Australia.
Universe.
So, all good fun. We've gone from being the most livable city to the most lockdown city, I think,
Yeah, pretty much.
in 12 months.
But here we are. We're back in the store because we can. We're
correct.
doing click and collect just out there. So if we see a couple of heads sort of floating through, that's because they're collecting some stuff. But that's all right. We'll maybe one day we might get Brett on camera. You never know.
It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
It's just not going to happen.
That's not going to happen.
I'm sorry, I'm being incredibly rude. I'm trying to bring up the questions on my screen so I'm not constantly looking up there or all over the place.
So send in your questions. Turn down your iPad.
It's down. It's not an iPad.
And Ruben in the background there, he's just, if you see it moving around a little bit, he's, all right, nice.
All right, we are organised.
We are organised.
Vaguely.
Yeah.
Got some emails.
Hey, cool.
Got some email questions.
And where do they send the emails to?
So live, L-I-V-E, live at bullionnow.com.au. And before the program and after the program, I'll pick them up. And there's just a few come in that I thought we would touch on. So a couple of really good questions came through. This one's from Brett. Hi, just watched your just watched your fake versus real talk. Absolutely brilliant, very helpful. Thanks, mate. This is in reference to the 2021 Great Southern Land Mother of Pearl coin.
Which has sold really, really well.
It has. It's actually sold out.
Gone.
In a lot of places.
Yeah.
Actually, I'll ask the question because it touches on it as well. But we actually had a question, I think, last week about doing a video on numismatics and how they go over the years.
Yes.
This is an abbreviated version of how some of the numies can actually go.
Yeah.
So the unfortunate thing is that bullion dealers only get a certain amount of stock. LCS, so that's our sister company, sold out in the first day, as did many other suppliers. They are now available on eBay, but for a great deal more. I found one but paid $100 more than the original cost. Having a look today, there's a seller who is advertising them for $199.88 plus $9 postage. They have 10 available. This is basically highway robbery. No comment on that part of it. Why can't such releases only be given to dealers for sale and also be limited to how many purchases each person can have, especially when it is a limited release? You want to wade in on that one, or you want me to do it?
You start.
It's a great question, and it's always a constant argument, even around the office here, because as we saw with the 5-ounce ox, and what was the other one that we released fairly recently, where you only get limited numbers. Do you limit it to one per person, where it becomes inefficient for the shop to only deal with one per customer? We actually lose money if we only sell one per customer. Not so much with the numismatics. It's much better, but particularly with the bullion side. Do we limit people to how many they can buy? Is that fair and just? If I want to buy more, should I be allowed to buy more?
There is no fair and just, because it's subjective, and whatever we do, someone is going to be put out of joint. If we limit it to one per customer, I wanted 10.
I wanted two. I wanted one. I wanted one for me, one for the wife, one for the kids.
If we let them all go at once, someone may nab 200 of them, and then everyone else is upset. So it's a big balance.
I actually was on the phone to Perth Mint this morning about a very similar thing, about how to get numbers and those sort of things right, and they struggle with it as well. There's no answer. There's no perfect answer.
No.
And I apologise, I can't give you a better one than that. But one of the things it does lead to is also this constant discussion we have about why would I pay more for a coin or a bar over and above its spot plus basic premium. Right. Sorry, I thought I'd turn that on silent.
That's all right.
And this is why, if you're prepared to pay that little bit more in some cases and buy these types of things, from an investment perspective, you can actually see quite large increases in price over and above a spot price movement. I really am going to have to mute that. Sorry.
That's right.
And this being an extreme example where it's been sold for about $100, I think was the recommended retail, give or take a little bit. And then almost overnight we're seeing it worth $200-300 because of the popularity of that series. And you can see that quite frequently.
How about I go through a couple of YouTube ones as well?
Yeah, go for it.
Let's see, we've had a number of questions. Let's see, God's Money was the first commenter on, And God's Money said, hey, let's do a gold special, please. We have a special coming up.
Yeah, it's not
It's
a
not
gold
gold
one this
one,
week.
though. Sorry, it's
I
not
did
gold.
say that. I
Yeah.
think I said that on a comment
We
that
did.
I'd have a look at that. But
We did. Wombat is asking, anyone know where I can get a coin slide? Only ones on eBay are from other parts of the world.
yeah, there's none. I can't think of anyone that stocks one off the top of my head.
Not that I'm aware.
Yeah.
Not that I'm aware. Let's see. Do you find people calling up to inquire as if you're getting X or Y product annoying? Do you appreciate the fact that people trust your company to supply it? I feel so bad about calling up so often.
No.
No, call.
Absolutely. Yeah, call.
If you want to know whether something's in stock, you check the website. If it's not on there, if you think we might be getting something in, you've kind of heard rumblings about, Royal Mint is releasing something new, then, hey, and then, you call us and you annoy Sam.
Yeah, look, it's real. It serves several purposes.
Yeah.
You find out if we've actually got it in stock because not everything hits the web straight away. Sometimes there can be delays for a variety of reasons. We took a delivery of coins in like moments before we started this live stream. Obviously, they're not on the website, but we'll get to them as quick as we can. It also lets us know what people are interested in, what we should be pursuing. I know that might even be this coin that we're going to talk about later on. I really had no intent on getting, except for we had a bit of feedback from people, and all of a sudden, okay, it's in play. Oh, and the gold eagles that we sourced.
Yes.
I wasn't getting gold eagles because of the GST issues on them, but enough people have said, hey, are you stocking gold eagles? So we've started bringing them in. So absolutely. Give us a call if you can't see it or if you want it, and we'll see if we can source it.
Fair enough. Shoot away.
Is there any idea when the 21 Libertad and Silver Eagle are coming into stock?
A Libertad? Ooh.
Yeah.
Who's that from, by the way?
This is
shall
from
we
Brett.
mention? Oh, it's from Brett. Libertad?
Next year for us, we won't see any this year.
No, definitely
Not a hope in.
And we
anything.
find it hard to get the Libertads in the first place anyway. Unless we've got a secret line on them that I don't know of.
No, they're not easy to source.
Okay.
The Libertads. The Eagles, you will see the Eagles come into our stock, particularly the Type 2s. The Eagles will be coming into stock fairly soon in the silver and the gold. So, yeah.
Fair enough. Let's go with another one.
This one's been signed NK. I find it fascinating how much gold different cultures buy and why. What trends have you seen across different cultures? Do they buy for gifts, weddings, festivities, newborns? What sort of thing do they buy? What's popular with different Australian diverse cultures? I love that question because
question.
it covers all sorts of things.
Yeah.
We do see, funnily enough, Australians as Australians, you could possibly call me slightly racist here. I'm kind of meaning the older generation Australians background. We don't tend to have a lot of gold in our culture, but we particularly see, like we've got Diwali coming up, which is an Indian festival, and gold is very big in the Indian community. In a lot of the Eastern European communities, it is part of their culture for a different reason to what I would say it is in the Indian culture. In the Chinese culture, so the Australian Chinese culture, we see quite a bit from that background. So rather than I'll use myself as an example. So my background is British, if I go back a little while. There's no real gold tradition in British tradition so much, but more so in that Indian Chinese culture that we're seeing coming through and mixing into our diverse community, and it's bringing that love of gold, that culture of gold into what we're seeing now.
Yep, that's a fair call. We've got another question coming through. Hello, what is considered a limited vintage gold coin? What's considered a limited vintage gold coin?
I'm not sure I understand the question.
It depends whether you
that.
mean technically, vintage is technically 20 years and older.
Yeah.
But a limited one.
Limited vintage or limited edition?
It's very clearly saying the word vintage here.
Yeah,
so
okay.
I'm not quite sure. If you wouldn't mind sort of re-asking your question in a slightly different way so we can understand that'd be great.
Yeah.
Let's see. Dylan Cornish is asking, when do you think premiums on silver will be coming down? Still $50 for 1 ounce. I think he said for 10 ounce, but I think he meant 1 ounce.
Yeah, okay.
We are pushing the kind of 50-ish, kind of dollars, depending on the coin.
This is in AUD, obviously not for
Australian
anyone
dollars,
that's viewing from outside Australia. We are actually seeing premiums come back. I don't know if people have noticed. We've actually eased the premium back on Perth Mint kilo bars on our website because we're getting a better deal on them now. So they've come back. I know some of the local refineries are starting to ease their pricing, their premiums on kilo bars as well, and some of the other sizes. The US Eagles, the premiums on those have started to come back, where we were paying the equivalent of $70 Australian to get them landed, and that's a wholesale price, and that's before freight. 70 Australian dollars to get them into, or to buy them to bring into the country. That premium wholesale has fallen back to, I wouldn't say back to what it was, but it's becoming to a point where I'm not frightened of being accused of price gouging if I actually release the price onto the website. So we are seeing premiums come back. I don't believe, particularly with silver, I don't believe we will see the premiums come back to where they were pre-COVID. I think we've seen that increase, and I think it'll stay.
No,
but not to the same degree that we were, even 6 months ago.
Yeah, we, as I've mentioned probably before, once it hit the first time in March last year, our business, it felt like it tripled. Yeah. At least in premiums, premiums went up, and pre-COVID premiums, highly doubtful ever again. You never know.
You don't know. Silver's still, it's funny actually, I was talking to, again, Perth Mint this morning, and we were talking about the fact that silver is still booming overseas, where it's actually, I wouldn't say it's quietened down, but it's tapered a little bit in Australia, the demand for silver, whereas overseas it's on for young and old over there.
Fair enough. You want to shoot away with an email there?
I do, from Lee. Just some additional feedback to the question asked about GST on imported bullion. Recently purchased some Britannias directly from the Royal Mint. I won't be too offended on that. I was charged GST. When I questioned this, I received a response from the Royal Mint, the following response. Thank you for your email. All parcels sent from us will be stated as numismatic products, as that is what they are. Sending coins or bullion by post is prohibited and therefore does need to be classified as numismatic. Yeah, I think they're dodging the question a little bit. They're trying to cover their own backsides. If they are marked as numismatic, and I would argue in this country there is a large difference between numismatic and bullion, unlike potentially what the UK is viewing, because all silver in the UK incurs VAT, or our version of GST. So that is why you would be charged, but you can actually claim that back if it's incorrectly levied against you. We do argue the point with them, and I have to admit now we've got them fairly well trained. They seem to not charge us the GST as it comes through. But yeah, that is, and look, again, it's a little bit difficult because we operate a bullion business, and it sounds like we're kind of saying, come to us, and I guess we are in some ways.
Of course we are.
But when you do buy from overseas, that is a risk that you're taking, that you are going to get slugged that extra 10%, whatever it is, coming through Border Force. So in some ways, looking at our prices compared to, say, direct out of the UK or direct out of the States, it might be $1 or $2 cheaper on face value, but when it actually comes to, and you pay freight, and then you get slugged an extra 10%, and then there's an issue, it's a little more difficult, and ends up costing quite a bit more frequently.
On that, we have a mutual friend who has done this before, and we have a few people who have done this before, where in Australia they've purchased gold sovereigns. They've purchased. This is the travel thing. So, do you want to go through it? If you're ever thinking about traveling to the UK, for example, do you want to
look? I will mention a scenario. You need to. It's almost pointless under COVID.
True, but this is let's blue sky think for a second, and one day we'll get out of it.
You need to see the tax law for yourself.
Yes.
Okay. This is not tax advice.
No.
This is not travel advice.
No.
This is not any advice. This is two rabbits up the front, rabbiting on. So we charge in this country. We are charged GST on non-bullion items.
Correct.
So we're talking sovereigns. They're not pure. US Eagles. Give me something else. Anything that's
Coronas,
South African Krugerrands. Thank you. That's the other one I was looking for.
Yep.
Those the bullion coin, the rest of the world considers a bullion coin, we don't in Australia. It incurs GST. Now, if you're leaving the country and you purchase them, it's either 28 or 30 days prior to leaving the country, as you exit the country, you can claim back the GST, the same as you can do if you're buying a camera or whatever else you want to buy in this country and leave under the tourist refund scheme or whatever it's called. I don't know the exact name for it. Sure. So you can then, as you're leaving the country, you claim back the GST, you put the 10% in your pocket, you land in, let's say, the UK.
Well, it has to be in this specific. It has to be
the example you're going for is, so you roll into the UK. You can then take that sovereign in the example we used, and you can sell it back over there once you're over there, and you can actually get local currency. So it saves you the transfer fee of AUD into, in this example, British pounds, but you've also got that GST component because there's no tax charged at this stage. There's no VAT or anything like that charged as you enter into the UK.
And then what about?
I knew you were going to hit this.
We don't have to. We don't have to talk about it. That's okay. That's the beauty of being live. We can choose what we want.
Yeah, okay. What Joe's inferring is that in the UK, VAT is levied against silver, which
correct.
If you're leaving the UK, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's 17.5%, I think. The POMs watching will be able to correct me on this. I think it's 17.5%. That it's charged in the UK, and as you're departing Heathrow, you may be able to claim that 17.5% back on there. So it's a way of obtaining local currency and potentially benefiting from different tax laws and spot price movements and that type of thing. But be very aware, I am not an accountant, I am not a lawyer, nope. I am none of those things. I'm just an old guy sitting on YouTube rabbiting on about nothing. So don't take it as advice in any form.
And now I officially apologise for putting you in it right. Yes. Not tax advice, nothing like that.
Right, can we get on to safer ground for a minute?
Yes, absolutely.
Alrighty, so I've got an email here from Ryan. A friend and myself have just got into gold bullion in the last 5 months. Fantastic.
Well done.
We're not big players, have visited 3 times and purchased about 1 kilogram between us. We plan to visit 4 to 6 times a year moving forward. Excellent. Love your videos. Michael often mentions and explains the value of building a relationship with a dealer, and can't overemphasize that one. Considering we visit with cash and purchase, I'm skipping a few things in here because I don't want it to be identifiable. No records. Often wonder, how do you know who we are? Any advice on how to build relationships like you mentioned in the video would be appreciated. I think that's an excellent question because we don't take ID. We're not required to take ID for smaller transactions. So how do we get to know you? Believe it or not, we get to know most people that come through the store.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would suggest that most people, we may not necessarily know your name and everything about you, but yeah, we tend to know you particularly, and I actually sent this guy, I sent him a response, but particularly if you can plan to spend 5 or 10 minutes in the store. It's not just a race through the door, quick, I need a sovereign, I'm straight back out again. Chat to the guys a little bit, you'll find you'll build a rapport, and even if you come in 6, 8, even 12 months later, one of us will go, didn't I see you, a while ago? You haven't been in for ages. And I have to say, Brett is dynamite for this. He can recognise a face and put a name to it better than anyone I've ever come across in my life. So he's quite likely to go, oh, hi Bill, how are you? I haven't seen you for 12 months. He's just got that memory. So if you come in and you chat to us and you're likeable, I said earlier on to guys, there's 2 types of people we remember. There's those that are really likeable and then there's those that are not. You're far better off being in the first camp than the second one. And the other thing to always remember is that we are always very, very open to receiving bribes through chocolate.
Oh, absolutely. I think we've got a stack now this high.
We had. How do you think I stay this shape, mate?
Currently he's working through it as you go. I have a quick one right here in the live chat. Please keep your questions going through. I'll try and get down as quickly as I can through them, but Bill Katz is asking, is Perth Mint producing any more 2021 1 kilo Kookaburra coins?
No.
Okay. Asked and answered. Let's see. Hi guys, this is from Vittorio. Hi guys, love the show. Thank you. Can you tell me Can you tell me, I realise you don't have a crystal ball, but if someone bought 3,000 in silver or gold bars compared to coins, if, for example, just released 2020 Queen's Beast coins, which would be better? Basically, bars or coins, which is better?
Well, you're talking to a coin guy, so my argument's going to be coins.
Because?
Do you want to take the bar side?
No, you say.
Okay.
Why
So look, a bar is, other than vintage bars, there are exceptions to this rule. So there are some certain classics that don't do this. But as a general rule, if you're looking at a Perth Mint 1 ounce gold bar compared to a Queen's, was it the Queen's Beast that we were talking about? Yeah, compared to a 1 ounce gold Queen's Beast, in 2 years' time, 5 years' time, 20 years' time, your 1 ounce gold bar is always going to be worth spot plus a little bit. So, you know, spot, bring it into here, we pay spot. Like how I slid that in. Or, you know, you're going to get around about that spot. So spot goes up, it's going to go up. If spot goes down, it's going to come down. You complete a coin, it's going to follow spot as well. So your worst case scenario is it's going to follow that spot price up and down. Yes, you've paid more for it, so you've lost that little bit of premium, that extra premium over and above the bar. But worst case scenario, it's going to do this exactly the same as the bar. Best case scenario, and I believe the Queen's Beasts are in this category, best case scenario is the collectors get hold of it and they run with it. And so now it's no longer as much linked to spot. So you'll find if spot goes up, it goes up. If spot comes down, you'll find that it either won't go down or it will only come down marginally because the collectors want it. And the example I use in the store, and I've used it online before, and it's actually a silver example, is back in 2008. You could buy a 5 ounce silver bar, Perth Mint. It was kind of around about that $110, $115 mark. The same year they produced the Series 1 2008, Series 2 2008 5 ounce mouse. And you were paying $125, $130, that $10 to $15, maybe even $20 more premium over and above that price. Now, fast forward to last year, 2020, you would have got somewhere around about that $200 mark, maybe a squeeze more or a squeeze less, depending on what spot had done on the day, for that 5 ounce bar. So not a bad return. You've almost doubled your money in those 12 years. With the 5 ounce mouse though, you know, you can pay $1,500, $2,000, $2,500 for a 2008 Perth Mint 5 ounce silver mouse. So, which has done better over time? Obviously, the coin in this example has done far better. Now, I'll freely admit I've cherry picked that example. I'm not suggesting for a millisecond that every other coin that you buy is going to do what that did. But it really overemphasizes and highlights the fact that, yeah, okay, you're going to pay that little bit more premium for a coin, but as Joe likes to say, it's a bit of a lottery ticket. And I would say it's better than a lottery ticket because if you discuss it with the likes of, you know, your bullion dealer, a coin dealer, those types of people, they should be able to give you some guidance into which ones are more likely to do that than others. But I would argue that you're going to do far better out of that in the long run.
I would suggest not financial advice on all that stuff because we
Absolutely.
don't know that the 5 ounce ox, which we actually recently did
The Series 3.
The Series 3 ox, the 5 ounce ox, may or may not become close-ish to that 5 ounce 2008 mouse deal.
It certainly has the potential because Perth Mint only did a small run of them. They were hard to get hold of. The dealers couldn't get very many. We had our own disaster with the 5 ounce ox. I've still got PTSD over it.
Yeah.
But it's very limited numbers. So you're going to find that in 2 years' time, 5 years' time, 10 years' time, when people are wanting to go back and complete their series, you know, I've bought the 1 ounce, I've got all the 1 ounces, I want to start collecting the 2 ounces or the 5 ounces. The 5 ounce ox at this stage is going to be one of your key, I would suggest going to be one of your key coins to collect.
So if you got one, well done.
Yeah, absolutely. And we actually did a special on them.
We did them two live ones
live
ago,
chats
I think it
ago,
was. Yeah.
live streams.
But they're gone.
Yeah,
Don't ask.
Yeah.
They're gone. They're gone. We've got the Lucky Simpin show asking...
Right, he's back again.
He's back again. We're one of our regulars. What type of gold will you guys accept? For example, a small nugget that you found whilst digging for gold?
As in selling back into it?
Yeah, so will we buy back nuggets?
Officially, my answer is no. We don't buy back nuggets. but we actually do.
We have.
We certainly have.
It's more difficult.
It is. It's on a case-by-case basis. There's no way we're buying back dust and the really small kind of things because they're too hard to test.
Yeah.
They're too hard to do anything with. But and I keep referring to this. We've actually got 20 of them, I think, here-ish, nuggets from Tennant Creek that somebody's brought in, and they're a good size nugget. And so those ones we can actually test them. We can talk about them, and they look stunning. So. It depends. It's a case by case.
The great thing I love about those nuggets in particular that we brought back is they're all individual.
They're very much
very unique.
Yes,
very much so.
Yeah,
we may be doing something about that soon.
Yeah.
You never know.
But we don't buy back jewellery or any of those types of things. We are a bullion store, so we buy back bullion, bars, coins. Pretty much that's it for us.
This is an interesting one. This is from Pete Golding. And he's asking, I have over 10 kilos of silver put away for my daughter. My partner doesn't think that it will be worth more in 25 years' time. Can you explain why people stack in a quick, straightforward answer?
Because 5,000 years of history shows that it will preserve your purchasing power.
Correct. If we had to expand on what do you mean by purchasing power, what do we mean by purchasing power?
So we did. We can't link on live stream, can we?
We can find it.
The boys at the back are madly scrambling around there trying to see if they can link.
The guys will find it. We'll put a link in the chat.
So we did a video in 2020 where we got a pile of $50 notes or $100 notes. It was $15,000 worth, and right next to that we had a pile of gold bars. And we talked about the average price of a Melbourne property at that point. In 1971, the average price of a house in Melbourne was $13,500. You can check ABS for this, Australian Bureau of Statistics. So for 15 grand, it bought you the house. I don't think there was stamp duties around then, but I might stand corrected. But any expenses, that sort of thing. So 15 grand would have bought you the average house in Melbourne. Now, the average spot price in 1971 was $40 for an ounce of gold, and 15 grand equated to 330 ounces of gold. Hence, the pile of gold we had was 330 ounces next to the $15,000 and your average house in Melbourne. Now, you fast forward to 2020, and I haven't updated these numbers for 21 yet, but you fast forward in 2020. The average house price in 2020, according to the Australian Bureau of Statistics, was $900,000. Now, your 15 grand in cash would not have even paid for the stamp duty on your average house, never mind bought it. Now, yes, there is an argument. We took it on another video a step further. We invested that $15,000 in the bank, took an average interest rate of 8%, believe it or not, and it still got nowhere near paying the stamp duty for the average house in Melbourne. However, you fast forwarded to the gold price, and I know you've asked a silver question, but this demonstrates it better. You fast forward to 2020, at the spot price that we took when we did the video, the average house price of $900,000 equated to 330 ounces of gold. And that is an example of it preserving your purchasing power over a period of time. That was over 49 years, and you could buy exactly the same with that lump of gold that you could in 1971 as you could in 2020, and I would argue that in 25 years' time, in 2045 or 46, that 330 ounces of gold will still buy the average house in Melbourne or whatever you wanted to compare it to at that point. And yes, in that time, there are going to be times when it's going to buy a little bit more and a little bit less as inflation and spot price movement doesn't match exactly, but over a period, over 25 years, you will find it goes near enough for government work.
Absolutely. That's a great explanation. Thanks. John P, bit of just a statement. Hey boys, love the show. However, might be time for some new chairs.
Oh, you would not believe how much of a sore point that is around the office.
No idea. Although I like the blue, it's pretty cool. We are in the beginning process of doing a refit.
Yeah, Brad, where are you?
Hey man, you're supposed to be here today. He's actually watching. He's pulled over and he's watching.
Yeah, that's right.
Where is Numismatic? Numismatic will be here later today.
He certainly
later
will.
In this one. Danish is asking, would it be safe to order from you when you live in Denmark, so this person lives in Denmark. I'm thinking of making a YouTube channel in Danish. Cool. Where I open packages from you and other stores. Absolutely. We can get it to Denmark.
Yeah, absolutely. We can ship it over to Denmark. Not a problem at all.
And
I wouldn't say not a problem. It's a bit interesting from our end, but it's no big deal from your end.
And the more people who do unboxings like we do in camera, of our stuff, absolutely the better.
Yeah, we'll make an appearance.
Yeah, we'll go, mate. We'll go live on your channel.
My Danish is terrible. In fact, it's not existent.
No, I'm not even going to try.
I can eat them.
Let's see. We have another question here. Can you recommend a good home safe? Whoa, it's a toughie. I'm doing a bit of research and found some good Bunnings safes.
Yeah,
Ooh.
you're talking to the wrong person. I don't like Bunnings safes.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
So, look.
This is where we've gone silent. Yeah.
Look, there's a couple of reasons we're going silent. I don't actually like telling people to buy a safe. I think one of the most dangerous things on earth, says the person who owns many of them because of the shops and that. But if you have a safe, even a Bunnings safe, oh geez, I hope I'm not going to get into trouble for this. Even a safe that is bought, any safe, people assume that you have a safe for a reason. Therefore, they want to know what's inside. Now, a cheaper safe that you can break open is possibly even better in some ways, because if people can't break into the safe, certain people, then they are going to use other leverage to get you to open the safe.
Or might come back.
Yeah, they come back when either you or family is there. So I'm not a big fan of safes in the home at all. So you're hitting a few of my soft spots here. If you're going to get a safe, get a good safe. They're not that expensive, and you don't have to get a brand new one. Get a second-hand one, get a reconditioned one, because safe technology, they stick a flash digital readout on the front and the locking mechanism of the strength of the safe uses the same technology that it has for like the last 400 years. So it doesn't matter. In fact, I love some of the old bank safes. They look stunning. So go for an older safe, go for a second-hand safe, go for a cheaper safe. But please, 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 please do not tell anyone that you've got a safe in your house. Don't do it. It's not worth it. Nope. So if you're going to get one, great. Don't tell anyone.
For the absolute layman, any recommended brands, any of the big ones I would suggest. I mean, I'm hard pressed to want to mention a couple of names, but if you do a quick Google search, the big ones are going to be your Lockaways, your spikers.
Yeah, they're more firearm safes, but yeah.
But
there's absolutely no problem with a firearm safe. That wasn't meant as a criticism.
Yeah.
Look, any of the Chubbs.
Yeah.
There's another one, and the name escapes me off the top of my head. Yeah, look, any of the major brands are fine. A safe's a safe. They're basic, just a steel box. You can get really fancy ones if you want to move into the banks and that type of stuff, but your average home safe, they're all pretty much the muchness. Check the thickness on them. I don't care about the brand. Check the thickness, check where the hinges are, whether they're internal hinges or external hinges, and check the locking mechanism, how many locking points it's got. And the more locking points, the better. If you're storing bullion, you don't need to care about the fire rating. In my opinion, that's not advice.
Why is that?
Well, it's going to melt, but it's still going to exist. After the bushfires, people bring in...
Scrape it up.
They scrape up and it comes in with twigs and dirt and clay and rocks all in it, and we send it off to the refinery. This is why it's considered real money. We send it off to the refinery, they refine it out, and they come back. And sure, you're going to lose, 0.1% or maybe even 1% in the refining process and all that, but effectively it's going to come back. So, if you want a fire rating, great. You can keep documents, that sort of thing. If you're just looking at lumps of silver or lumps of gold in there, it's not a be-all and end-all.
Yep, fair enough. Probably this year, hopefully, we may have a specific video about safes. I think we might be able to interview a safe manufacturer.
A safe cracker.
Safe
Manufacturer.
That'd be cool, wouldn't it?
Yes.
How to do that. So stay tuned for that, hopefully this year. We've answered this in the live chat, but I thought I'd mention it on here. Aussie Kelpie said, I would love to see a video of you guys at a local refinery and see them do a special silver or gold pour.
funny you should
Funny
mention
you should
that.
mention that.
Stay tuned.
Yes, stay tuned for that.
So we've actually convinced one of the refineries to let us come through. And I have to say, I'm not going to mention who it is yet. I'm going to tease it a little bit. But they were incredible. They opened the doors to us and they let us come through. Obviously, there's security things there, so we were selective in what we could video. But they even shouted us lunch. They were absolute legends. And we took a lot of footage there. Ruben is currently refining that down. No pun intended.
Hey.
He's bringing it down to something a bit more reasonable because I think we were there like Rubes, about 6 hours or something. So there's lots of video footage there. We're going to bring it down to something more reasonable with some voiceovers. We did some interviews while we were there and chatted to the people there. We're hoping it comes out really, really well. But so stay tuned. The short answer is we should have it very soon.
Excellent. Zadicus is asking, I like this one, do you do buy now, pay later, afterpay or zip pay? I think it will help millennials in affording some bullion. Short answer is we can't.
Yeah.
If we could, we would.
Absolutely. Look, I actually think that stage payoff's a good idea. And again, I'm plugging our own thing, but it's kind of what we use the unallocated for to a degree.
That's
is
a
that
fair point.
you know you can chip away at the spot price, the current spot price, locking it away, and then converting it into whatever you wanted at the end of the day. But the main reason we don't use your afterpays and that type of thing is purely because the expenses involved on our end.
Their fees are too much.
Yeah.
And because our margins in this industry are, if you're talking gold, a fraction of a percent.
Yeah,
is our actual.
Look, to give you some idea, we get really excited if we have a 3% margin. We are like, wow, look at this. We got 3% on it. And well, their charges I think are 3.5 or 4.5%.
Yeah.
So we're already making a loss before we even start the negotiations.
We'd love to, but short answer is unfortunately not. Someone's asking, how can we buy sovereigns without the GST?
Private transactions don't incur GST.
Yeah.
International transactions don't incur GST. Or you can buy them, pay the GST, and leave the country.
That's a good one. Do you have any more of your emails?
I only have the one more to go.
May as well do it.
So this is from Aussie Frost. Hey guys and dolls. Still loving your efforts. Thanks. I'm a SOV guy, but the gold Queen's Beast is an absolute beauty. Could only absolutely agree with that. If only they could do a completer with all the monarchs from George III to Her Mad's 5th head, I'd be sold. Cool. Crazy thinking or food for thought. I think that would be a stunning coin.
Yeah.
So
great idea.
We should feed that back to the Royal Mint, I reckon.
And I'm not bigging us up too much and all that. But honestly, if we sent an email or if we spoke to someone there and just mentioned that, that's a thing that might possibly happen. I'm not saying it definitely would.
Actually,
but
it doesn't have to be the Royal Mint. We could actually punt that off to Perth Mint.
Yeah, that's true actually. Wow.
Neil, if you're watching, give me a call, mate.
Thank you now. Yeah, you've just invented it. Well done. Let's see. Do you think sets, MC is asking this, do you think sets are worth completing in terms of selling on the aftermarket to collectors, for example, the Queen's Beast?
No.
Why?
Because I think part of the...
So to confirm, you're suggesting having a complete set isn't necessarily better?
If your intention is to sell it as a set, I would say not. Because part of the thrill is in the chase. So you will actually find that people pay more for individual coins than they will pay for the set.
Yeah,
I like completing the set. I've got a set, that's the OCD coming at me, it's the thrill of the chase. But when you've got the set, most collectors don't want to buy a complete set. They want to actually complete it themselves. And those that do kind of say, well, I'm buying, 13 ounces of gold, can't I have a discount?
Yeah.
So it's that type of thing. So I would say from a financial perspective, completing the set is not ideal. But from a, you've got a complete set, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Zadicus says once again, when I came into the store with my girlfriend on Monday, accidentally slammed the door on the way out. So I'll bring you some chocolate next time.
If you've never been into the store, we have two doors with an airlock. The first door coming in is actually quite stiff and it's very weighted for a good reason to get through the door. So you have to fairly throw it to get it open. The second door, like it's still a solid door, but I don't know if the hinges are well oiled or whatever, but it's really light. So when you're going out, you tend to put a bit of weight behind it and the thing goes whack into the wall behind it.
Yeah. Crate Gainer is asking, hey, with Click and Collect, would I be able to present some other form of ID other than my license, like a Medicare, a bank card, birth certificate, utility bills? No, because none of those are technically official government issued photo ID. Yeah. So we have to have a photo matched with the
so
thing.
We can do a passport.
Key pass you could do too.
Yeah,
key pass are official government.
Yeah, look, we do accept. I don't like it, but we do accept the key pass.
Yeah.
I would prefer to see a driver's license or a passport.
I mean,
at a pinch, I'll take a key pass. But
most people are going to have a driver's license or passport. But yeah, push comes to shove.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else? What's the time? It is 3:10. Do you reckon it's almost time?
It is. So we're going to talk two things today to release, kind of, and there's a bit of an explanation behind it. So, Rubes, could you play the first one? You don't know which one's the first one. I just gave you three.
Are we talking about that little? Are we talking about that one kilo thing that we haven't mentioned
forgot
yet?
about that.
Yeah, let's mention that.
Oh, okay. We'll do that one first. So sorry, stand by on the special.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to wait for that.
You want that one to go?
So we want the kilo bar.
Yeah, this is actually just something that came into the store. This is just a piece of interest. Came to the store recently. It's an SRM Stanley Robert Mitchell 1 kilo silver bar vintage. I'm talking probably 70s, 80s at the moment. Beautiful bar. We just wanted to show it to you because it's just a great example of an old vintage bar. You can see, if you've already seen it, in the top right hand corner of the bar there's an extra little hallmark there which says SCCC. That's Southern Cross something or other, I think. I've forgotten what it is, but we wanted to show you because it's a really cool bar.
It is. So these are the types of things that you can collect. We've actually shot another video on a 22 kilo bar. That's a vintage one that you'll see coming up in the future. But these bars, they have character, they have design, they have all sorts of things mixed into them. So it's a way of stacking your silver or gold. You can get them in gold or platinum and those sorts of things at different times. You can get these things, but it kind of adds that extra dimension, if you like. Who's handled this? It's kind of a little bit along the old coin thing that we talk about sometimes, where you wonder about its history and the way it's poured and the way it's been handled over time. And they always carry scars and knocks, and they use different methods like that. The 22 kilo one that you'll see later on another video. The refining process wasn't there in the 70s, so it's not as pure as what we'd expect now. But instead of that being a negative, it's actually a positive because it gives it this coppery toning in some areas and bubbles and shapes and it's almost like the art version of stacking silver in this example that we've just shown you. So
beautiful. But let's do the spesh.
The spesh.
The spesh.
Can we view the spesh?
Now, hang on one sec. Well, we filmed yesterday. We filmed 2 videos. We filmed a video and we released it earlier today. Something I think I called it an epic international silver unboxing, something like that, where we got in some maples and some Krugerrands and what we thought were Royal Mint Britannias. And then we opened the box and lo and behold, it was something that we were getting into release, which we hadn't mentioned to anyone yet, but then we mentioned it on camera, and then we thought, oh, we've got to quickly do another unboxing. That's what we did, and that's what we're going to live release right now to you guys first. So what is it?
It is the Royal Mint 1 ounce silver Robin Hood. So, Rubes, can you play that one now-ish? So this is not Perth Mint. Sorry, this is the Royal Mint's promo material for it. Rupert and I were discussing this just before we went on camera. We believe this is computer generated because the coins they look stunning. They look like a stunning coin anyway. It's just these ones are just perfect for the nth degree. We are getting the gold version in. We don't have it on in the shop right this second, but I'm just looking down here and actually seeing
we're getting a delayed feed. That is 100% computer generated.
Yeah, so but it is an absolutely beautiful coin, and we're releasing it right now to the world for BN. Obviously, it has actually been released by the Royal Mint overseas already. But yeah, you can get that right now on our website. But the thing we're going to do with the Robin Hood, and in fact with this is kind of the special that we're releasing to anyone that's viewing the live feed, is that if you place a purchase between now and...
What do you want to say?
Opening of the click and collect ability on Monday. So that would be Monday the...
9 a.m.?
Yeah, 9 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. I just don't know what date that is.
That will be the 9th.
Okay, on the 9th of August. So any order placed up till that point, that includes the word, come up with something, live stream.
That includes the 2 words, Merry Men.
Merry Men. Oh, there you go. All right, so in the notes section of any of your orders you're putting in on our website, if you type in Merry Men.
Either as 2 words or 1 word, that's okay. Merry Men or Merry Men.
Yep.
What do they get?
You get a free, free silver. We're going to throw in some free silver. Yeah. So what we've got is, and you won't be able to see this on camera, but you're just going to have to trust me in this case. What we've got is some pre-decimal, Australian pre-decimal coinage.
Is it 50% or?
It could be either.
Oh.
Could be either 50% or 92.5%. It could be any denomination. So you might get a threepence, you might get a florin, whatever. We don't know. We're going to throw one in with your order.
Yep.
And it's actually not for you, believe it or not. It's for you to take and give to someone. So it's a chance for you to show people old currency. It's a chance for you to show people real currency, one that actually contains a precious metal. It actually has both a face value but also an intrinsic value in and of itself. And you can give that to your kids, your partner, the neighbour, anyone that you would like to introduce the concept of precious metals to and the stacking side of it, and start generating that conversation. Now, we're going to throw in one, but if you're going to do it for your kids and you've got more than one kid, you can put in Merry Men by 2 or Merry Men by 3.
Yep.
If you've got lots of kids, write me a bit of a message and I'll have a look at it. But just be aware that us large families, because I've got lots of kids, we all know each other, so I'll probably know if you're leading me astray too far. But look, the object of the idea is just to actually get it out there, to get the message out there, to encourage people to start looking at real currency. So, yeah, sure, people are going to, some people are going to put it in their pocket, and that's great. But I encourage you to take it and to use it to help educate people, help them to see and experience precious metals and what currency should be about.
Just to clarify, because we've had a few people already commenting in the live chat, Merry Men, Merry Men, Merry Men.
No. Your order.
Go to order 1 or however many you want. There's an additional comments section in the checkout page of the website. So don't post it in the live chat because we won't remember. It's you. How are we going to know it's first name, last name, etc. When you're going through the order process on the website, put in Merry Men, and you'll get 1 or more of those pre-decimal. And this is only for people who are watching this now or who watch this playback of this live one.
Prior to Monday, and place the order prior to Monday.
Prior to Monday at 9 a.m. Anyone else who just buys one off the website without seeing this, well, they won't know what the code is. So
yeah,
there you go.
And look, I've got to cover my backside here. It's until we run out.
Yeah.
But I do have several hundred, so I'm not anticipating running out.
Okay.
But if we do, oops.
Please don't share this with all your friends and go, hey, well, Merry Men.
Yeah.
It's not too bad, I guess.
Yeah, no. Look, you've got to place an order, so I guess I'm covering my cost there. But
that's a fair point.
Yeah, it's, like I said, it's designed, it's a bit of fun, and it's designed for everyone to be able to actually say, look, here you go. What do you think of this sort of thing?
All right, fair enough. Let's have a look right here. A bunch more comments coming through. Oh, okay, right, got it. Someone's just clarified, you have it wrong. People are saying Merry Men because someone was asking they thought it was Mary Men.
We're ambidextrous. We can take it.
Or Marry Men. No, Mary. MERRYMEN. So we thought they were stupid, but now they're telling us we're wrong because we were wrong, and we were wrong.
I don't think they're stupid.
I don't think, no.
You said it.
I didn't say they were. I said we thought they were.
Good on
We
you.
love all of our customers here at Bullion Now. Let's see.
And you've got you don't have to leave the live stream and go and
No.
place the order. You've got time. Don't stress. We're going to keep it running until Monday morning.
Yeah, Lorenzo Candello has just said, I really love the way you guys operate. I'm a big fan of your business.
Oh, thanks, mate.
Thank you so much. Let's see. Liam Murph is asking, can it, I presume, the special and whatnot, can it be stored in the 3-month storage until we can get it shipped?
Oh, blast. I never thought about that. I don't see a reason why we can't.
Why couldn't it?
It just might cause a bit of confusion because it won't be actually listed as an item. So when we go back and audit, it's not going to...
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, don't worry about it. We'll figure it out.
I don't know.
Keep your comments, keep your questions coming through. We're going to be here for a little bit longer.
I think you're shot by the guys out the back, aren't I? Because I've just created chaos. Sorry.
Pretty much. Robin Murray is asking, do I get a discount because of my name on the Robin Hood because their name's Robin Murray?
Nice try.
Yeah, we like a gumption. That was good. We love your moxie. Let's see. Is there a price limit mailing interstate for expensive items like 20K, for example? Do you have a cut-off limit?
Yeah, we do. We can post out. I'll have to check the exact numbers, but it's about that. Our insurance covers 20,000 per parcel.
Well, didn't we get it up to 50, or am I wrong on that?
No, you're wrong on that. But
Okay.
I think it depends on which courier we use.
Okay.
There's variations between them, but it's something like that 20 to 25,000. I'm going to have Emma shoot me, who's head of our dispatch, because she's going to go, look, idiot, it's this. You should know that, and she's right. But it's $20,000 or $25,000 per parcel. We can send out multiple parcels. We do that at different times. We'll stagger them out over a couple of days, those types of things. So even shipping either within the state or interstate, we can actually we can still get those. Obviously, if you buy a kilo gold bar, we can't hack that in half or in quarters and send that through. But we have other ways of sending that through.
We have a question. It basically translates to, do we deliver to India? We did mention that last week.
Yeah,
unfortunately,
no,
we can't.
We don't. We have all sorts of trouble getting it through Indian customs.
Yep, unfortunately. Hi guys, where to start in buying? This is from, I can't pronounce that actually. Hi guys, where to start in buying gold to protect wealth?
Bullion Now.
What YouTube clips do you have? That's a great question. If you head over to the playlists section of our channel, there's actually a whole playlist called How to Invest in Gold series. So just watch those. We go. It starts from the very first question we ask is, why should you buy gold and precious metals in the first place? So it goes through, and we answer questions like, does size matter? The difference with bars or coins and all those kind of big, frequently asked questions we answer in that series.
Yeah.
So the How to Invest in Gold series on our playlists.
Yeah, and it covers not just gold, it covers silver and platinum, and to a degree palladium and rhodium.
Yep. Hey guys, does Michael have an email to contact him directly?
I
Yes,
don't want to be flooded by it.
No.
If you send it through to sales@bullionnow.com.au, it will get redirected to me pretty quickly.
Sam Papalado is asking, hi Michael, how did you first get into bullion?
I was a coin collector, is the way I first got into it. I collected coins and it grew from that. You start understanding what coins are worth money and what coins aren't and those types of things.
Stamps as well? Were you into that kind of side of things?
I still actually do have a stamp collection, but I've never been a huge stamp fan. I'm not like Matt, who spends weekends sorting through stamps.
Yeah. Speaking of,
we should bring young Matt in.
We should get him in, for a brief spell. So Matt, wherever you are, if you're hearing this right now, get your butt in here, please, mate.
Yes, please. So if you can, actually, is Matt out the back? No.
No.
Okay. So
he'll hear this and he'll come through.
All right. So when we get him in, we'll change over. But you want to keep asking?
Yeah, sure. So Little Paws said, "Hi Michael, salute from Sydney in lockdown.
Hey.
We've got that in common, mate. Are you ever going to expand and have a store up Sydney way? Well, once lockdown's over, maybe. in
Believe it or
3
not,
years' time.
pre-COVID, we were actually seriously considering it.
Yeah.
Post-COVID, or currently in COVID, it's a little difficult to make that decision. So I'm absolutely not saying it's impossible, but it's certainly off the cards this week.
Yep. I'm going to turn my mic off and then swap it over with Matt, and then we'll go from there.
All right, I'll answer a question or two while you two excuse the stepping through of the camera. I'm going to try and go underneath the back. All righty. So what else have we got? Peter Grace Me Guide. As a firefighter, don't store it in the roof. No, that's a very good point. I'm assuming we're talking about storing gold in the safe. What have we got? Thank you guys liking the live chat. Thank you. Just buy a former brand as a property and get it. Oh, former bank. Okay, so again, we're referring back to the. Yeah, okay. All right. I don't know how to run an Apple.
It's not touchscreen.
It's not touchscreen either. Far out.
That's all right, Matt's nearly there.
Too complicated. You want to rub that other one, mate?
I can do it.
Gotta give me an indication when you've got it going. Alright, so this is young Matt. Hello. You can't see what's on the screen currently. I have no idea what's going on. That's okay. We're getting the viewers in the previous life. Oh no! So this is Matt in action.
Oh no, what is it? Oh yeah, look at me go.
So we're on delayed feed, so we're going to be a little bit after you watching this. So
Pre-haircut.
yeah. So we just thought we'd give you a view into what Matt does after dark when he's not collecting coins and stamps.
It's like a real alter ego.
Absolutely it is. Yeah, I don't know how much more you've got of that, but do you want to turn it off, mate, if we're still going? You're going to have to run this because you know how to run an Apple, and me being a troglodyte, I can't do it.
Sure. All right, well...
So any of your numismatic questions start rolling in right now, and Matt will start to go through them.
I've got a query for you, Michael. I just saw one of the questions when I was waiting outside. What percentage of someone's net worth should be in precious metals?
Not investment advice.
Let's
loose.
Start off this is live. We're just chit-chatting.
Look, if you want a general throw mud at the wall number, in my opinion, and again, this is not financial advice, okay? I've got to clarify that right at the start. But I think reasonably, somewhere between 5 and 15% is not unreasonable of your net wealth. I would not suggest going all in, but it is absolutely one of those conservative investments that should make up a component of your net wealth, but should not make up the whole lot. And it also depends on what you're talking about. So, for example, you might have some that are bars and some that are coins. Are those coins part of your stack, or are they a separate investment like a 1930 penny or an Adelaide pound? The Adelaide pound, it's gold. So is that part of your stack or not? Well, no, it's not. So
yeah, for sure.
It depends on what we're talking about as an overall umbrella. But if you work on that somewhere between 5 and 15%, I don't think you can go too far astray. Not investment advice.
This is a good question. Can you do a video on the total gold mined and how much each person on the planet would get? I love those kind of fun facts. Do you have any idea?
I have no idea at all.
Yeah, because I'd be curious to know that as well. We'll have to do a bit of research as to how much above ground gold supply there is, and then calculate approximately if everyone in the world wanted some, how much they would get.
Warren Buffett did a thing on this many years ago where he talked about it being something about 10 foot tall and about the size of a football field would consume all the gold in the world type of thing. I've probably got that drastically wrong, but it's something along those sort of lines. But I couldn't tell you how many ounces each person would get, but it wouldn't be much.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. What do you think about star notes, as I have 2 of them? I think they're great. I think they're fascinating.
I think they're a fantastic part of any collection.
Do you know why they exist?
Why don't you tell us?
I will enlighten you. So I'll tell you what it is, in fact. So a star note is a banknote, and so on all banknotes you'll see a serial number. You'll see what's referred to as a prefix, which is the letters at the beginning of the serial number, followed by a series of numbers. Occasionally, in our older paper banknotes, you will encounter a serial number where in place of the last number is a little asterisk. So hence the name star note. On the early ones, it is actually a star.
Yeah, that's right.
And they were put in place for bank tellers. So when they received a bundle and they were checking the bundles, if there was a star, that indicated to them that there would be a break in the sequence of the serial numbers.
Why was there a break in the serial numbers?
So when there was, that's a good question. So whenever there was a misprint or an error that they plucked out of the print run, or a damaged note, they would replace it, but with the star in place of the last number in the sequence.
Yeah.
So yeah, they are incredibly rare and very valuable.
And when do they still do that?
No, not to my knowledge. So they stopped doing that. There are a few denominations that you don't get them on. I believe it's a $50 note and $100. I think maybe even 20s you don't see them, or you may see them but quite rarely, because they did phase them out as they were introducing some of the larger denominations in Australia. But you do see them worldwide. On US banknotes, they're much more common and far less valuable, but still interesting.
Because the Yanks make more mistakes than Australians do?
It's possible. They probably also make more. They make more currency on the whole as well, I guess. So
I just alienated half of our people that are watching.
I'm trying to keep it all above board.
My apologies. I didn't mean to cause an international incident.
Matt, name one collectible coin that's hot on your mind at the moment. The mother of pearl coin, the Great Southern Land. We did this video, and I'm sitting here pumping it up, saying I gave it a 10. It was my first 10.
I think I gave it a 6 or something, didn't I?
Yeah. And then I said, "Oh, hey Ruben, I'll have to get one of these." No, sold out.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
customers all week coming and telling me, "Hey Matt, you don't have any of those aside by chance?" And I said, "No, I missed out as well." So, yeah.
Well, if it's any consolation, I didn't get any either. But
That's
I noticed Ruben got some.
Yeah, he's very, very, very quick with it. But that is on my mind at the moment. So, yeah. What else have we got? Hey, guys, great stream. Thank you, Anthony. It's very kind. Not asking for financial advice. Nice one.
Good start.
However, I'm planning to stack one monster box of silver coins. What coins are the best to stack in Australia in terms of liquidation, like with that in mind down the line?
I would suggest any silver coin is easy to liquidate from a dealer's perspective. So if your intent is to sell the coins back to someone like Bullion Now, where we pay spot, then it really wouldn't matter what pure coin you bought, whether it was a kangaroo or a koala or a US eagle or a Britannia or anything along those sort of lines. It really wouldn't matter. If you were looking at selling it back into the secondary market or taking it internationally, it's different answers to that one.
Absolutely.
So I would rather stack a Luna series or the Quokka that's just going through at the moment, or one of those more limited edition than say the kangaroo, because you're then achieving two goals. You're stacking the silver, but you're also got that potential for that growth of collector premium over time. Yep.
I think based on the question, just based on the phrasing of the question, perhaps if you're wanting to just get an empty monster box and fill it, the kangaroo would be my go-to in terms of if you're not planning on doing it in one hit and you want to space it out over potentially a couple of years and you want a uniform, you just want it to be a consistent monster box and then move it at the end, that would be my recommendation. Because if you were going for the slightly more obscure releases, it's going to be very hard to go back already, to get the 2020 Quokka is a bit of a pain. So if you just want a consistent collection,
kangaroo,
just keep it simple.
Yeah, go the kangaroo or the American Eagle if you wanted, or Maple or Britannia, that type of thing. Absolutely. I would also question why you're stacking 1 ounce, because it's the dearest no, it's not actually. I'm lying there. It's one of the dearer ways to stack, unless you've got a reason to stack that way. You know, you're only wanting to commit smaller amounts. You don't want to buy a kilo bar or a 100-ounce bar, or alternatively, you want fractional metal, which is absolutely a valid reason for doing it too.
Absolutely. Got a comment here. Just since I'm in charge of the comments, I'll pick this one out. Matt, thanks for helping me out when I went into the store to pick up my order last week.
You're a legend.
Everyone in the store is as friendly in person as in the videos. I totally agree, and I appreciate the feedback.
Yeah, you're fishing for a pay rise here, aren't
Well,
you?
it wouldn't hurt. You know, since we're here, since we're live. Matt, are the Queen's Beasts and Myths and Legends bullion or numismatics? Michael, are you planning on getting all the series of these coins when they are released?
Yes.
Queen's Beasts and Myths and Legends.
So Robin Hood's the Myths and Legends.
So Queen's Beasts, we've sort of missed.
It's finished. We can't get in.
Yeah.
We're getting in some more completers, but we can't get. I've actually just placed an order for some platinum, I think, Queen's Beast that are previous in the series. But the Queen's Beast is pretty much complete now. We won't get any more. But the Myths and Legends, absolutely. We intend on getting the whole series in.
Yep.
I'll leave the second part to you.
I guess it sort of falls in line with the video we did, the Matt's Corner, where it walks the line between bullion and numismatic. So you have collectible bullion coins, which it could be argued they become numismatic coins by their very nature. But as far as I'm concerned, in my headspace, it's not a numismatic coin. No, that's just my view, and that's how I would categorize it. But it becomes a little subjective, I think.
I would absolutely agree. It is not a numismatic coin. It is absolutely not a numismatic coin.
Yep.
That doesn't mean that in future years it may not become a numismatic coin or a collector coin. But absolutely, at this point in time, it is definitely a bullion-only coin.
Nice one. Matt, thanks for suggesting the 1966... I didn't pluck this out, but it sounds like it'll be complimentary.
I'm going to laugh if it's not.
Thanks for suggesting...
Falls flat on your face.
Thanks for suggesting the 1966 Circle 50-cent coin to me when I came in with my girlfriend on Monday. Love it. Wish I bought more. Save some for me. Come on in. I've probably got some more.
Have you really? You realise how many million emails we're now going to get? Can I have some 1966 50s?
Just for this one customer, I might have one more.
They are really good to collect. They are. We do get them in the store fairly frequently, but far out they go out far quicker than they come in.
They do indeed.
They're lightning. And for anyone that doesn't know, it was a 50-cent coin that was produced in 1966 for 1 year in Australia.
That's it.
And it's 80% silver. It's almost the equivalent of, each one is almost the equivalent of a third of an ounce of silver.
Absolutely, that's it. Someone has asked, are uncirculated Australian pre-decimal florins worth getting graded? What years would be the best? So there are a couple of key dates in the florin series. The three main ones that I like are 1910 being the first one. That's the only one you'll see with King Edward VII on the portrait, which is something a little different, and also being the first. I love anything that's the first. 1932 is a key date in the florin series, so if you have one in uncirculated, that's very, very valuable, like several $1,000s. And then my all-time favourite, the Melbourne Centenary florin, is also great, but they are quite common in high grades, so they need to be particularly impressive to fetch big dollars.
But if you had one that was uncirculated, would you bother getting it graded?
Yes, and I have done.
Oh, you would,
I have done. I've got one coming back. It came back as MS66, so that's quite high in that. It's one below the highest graded, which was 67.
Yeah.
So when that comes in, hopefully sometime soon, I think it's held up in customs. I've got a few pre-decimal coins that I've had graded coming back. We can do a little burst on it.
Absolutely. One more?
Yeah. Here we go. Any recommendations regarding PAMP versus Perth Mint versus RAM versus US Mint, etc.? I think they're all great. It's such a lame answer, isn't it?
That's such a loaded question too.
Well, it is, but I like having a bit of diversity. I've got all sorts of bars and coins.
Depends what we're talking about. If we're talking about, Perth Mint, please don't be watching this part. If we're talking about kilo bars, I would go the Pamp over the Perth Mint every day of the week because the presentation on them is just, it's just
They do
magic.
look very nice, yeah.
They really do. Whereas the Perth Mints, look, they're a perfectly functional, serviceable kilo bar, and at the end of the day, we're stacking metal. But the way they're packaged in the cardboard box and the way they rub against each other as they come across the nullarbor, they get scratch marks on them and that sort of stuff. So they don't present as well as a Pamp. But you pay far more for a Pamp than you will pay for a Perth Mint. So it's a trade-off there.
Yeah.
Look, all of the major mints around the world produce some good stuff. I would argue that almost no one would beat Perth Mint on a coin. The way they produce their coins is equal to anyone around the world, and I would say far better than pretty much everyone else around the world. They are brilliant. There you go. Hopefully I've made up for that last comment if they were watching. But yeah, look, Pamp's fantastic. Heraeus, they produce a great gold bar.
Yeah.
Valcambi, some of the technologies they use is just brilliant.
Yeah.
Geiger.
Yeah.
And this is a bit of a shameless plug. We're getting some Geiger stuff in later on this year. It's sensational. Royal Mint. I mean, you saw the quality, or you will see the quality of the Robin Hood, the Britannia, the Royal Canadian Mint. Now they've sorted out their milk spotting issue. The maple is one of my favourites. The Philharmonics out of the Austrian Mint.
Yeah.
They're just superb. They really are.
Oh, someone also asked about the quality of the Robin Hoods. They said that they'd seen questionable reviews of it. From what I've seen, they all look really great. Yeah. So I'm not sure if
we've
as
got
we go through, we'll see any...
We've got several thousand, and to be honest, I haven't opened every
I've
tube yet.
I've gone through a few, and I was really impressed.
Yeah.
But then again, I was also just filming the B-roll of it, but I thought it looked incredible. So wait and see.
We haven't had any problems yet.
Yeah, perfect. I think I've done my bit. If you've got any other questions or queries.
No, I think that's we'll just wrap it up there. I think so. That's it for another week. If we haven't got to your questions, I apologise. I noticed there that we'd clicked over 200 people watching for a little while. So it's, as far as I'm aware, that's a record for us, over 200. But I may stand corrected. I don't watch the stats very often. So fantastic. Thanks for watching. If you've got a question that we haven't answered that's a burning question for you, send us an email, live, LIVE, at bullionnow.com.au, and we will endeavour to either answer it there or we'll keep it for next week and we'll answer it on camera. We will do another live stream on Friday next week, and I have no idea what date that is, but 7 days from today. We'll start it at 2:30 Australian Eastern Standard Time, whether we're in the lockdown capital or whether we've been released at that point or not. You want to throw anything else in?
No, it's been a lot of fun. I think this is a lot of fun. I like doing these videos.
I have a blast with it, so
yeah.
All good. Like, share, subscribe, all the great stuff that Joe tells us to do. And if not, don't forget, grab your Robin Hood and make an order over the weekend. Use that Merry Men code in the notes or comments section of the order, not of the live stream, of the order. And we will give you a free pre-decimal that you can share around with friends and family.
Yeah.
That's it for now. We'll talk again next time. See ya.
See ya.